Alright, today we're going to build a team around the Takin, which is a tier 3 from Danger Pack. I've hardly used it since the pack was released, and I guess the main reason for that is that it's basically Musk Ox but better. It has a worse starting stat line, but the ability is way stronger, as we'll see very soon. I guess in Danger Pack itself, having the poorer starting stat line means more. But in customs, you know, it doesn't really matter at all because you can very quickly remedy that as long as you have your pack set up correctly. So here we're going to tank a couple of rounds with Duckling in the hopes that we level into the Takin, which we do. So it becomes a 1-6, 1-7, I should say, immediately. And then we'll do a little bit of buy-selling. So yeah, 2-8 from a 1-2. You're probably not going to be able to do that in Danger Pack. But still, I think this is a very strong ability, regardless of pack. If you haven't played Musk Ox for a while, and very few people do play it in customs, its ability is to gain +1/+2 whenever a friend ahead faints. Takin has exactly the same ability, except it's when a friend is hurt. So essentially it's like Musk Ox, just better in almost every way. Because there are very few situations where a pet is going to faint where it wouldn't be hurt. So we're also using another pet here that I don't take very often, Farmer Chicken, just for a bit of variety. I'm sure at some point Farmer Chicken will end up getting buffed because it is one of the weakest custom pets, I would say. But the fact that it has a 3-3 stat line, I think, is not too bad, so it's still definitely takeable. So level 2 Takin, I get the Manatee, which you can actually play in front of Takin to get in-shop temporary buffs, but I think here we're just going to take it and give some more attack to the Takin. Yeah, and we get the Capybara. So there were a variety of units that I wanted to pair with Takin. The main one is going to be Woodpecker, because I want the Woodpecker to actually hit the Takin at the start of battle, but also hit the pet in front. So we're going to deliberately trigger the Takin's ability a load of times at the start of battle, which is definitely something you can't really do with Musk Ox. But the double Capybara here is because we're looking for Blowfish. We need another hurt pet to pair with the Takin and try and get maximum value from the Woodpecker. So there we go. We get the Blowfish and double sell Cappy. Now here I could be greedy. Yes, I am going to be greedy and play the 2 lobsters instead of taking Blowfish right now. I guess I also have the frozen Vanilla Bean, which is going to let me get extra stats onto the Blowfish next turn. And I think you can just tell, you know, visually that it's clearly way stronger than Musk Ox here. There was a time when Musk Ox used to be extremely common in customs because it could gain stats permanently, but that time is long over. So now we've got the good-sized Blowfish to complement the Takin, and then I'm just going to sell down and take another Takin right now. We're also using Cashew Nut, which is a relatively new tier 1 perk that lets you activate a hurt ability or hit an opponent in the before battle phase, which is also extremely powerful, and I don't see very many people using it. But we'll see fairly shortly how you can kind of abuse this as we find the Ibex. So Ibex is going to allow us to reduce the stats on these on one of the opposing units in the before battle phase, which is extremely strong because you can then snipe them during start of battle. And really there's not much you can do about it except for having some kind of protective equipment. And a lot of teams won't have that. You know, a team that has garlic, for instance, you know, it's not going to prevent the damage completely. I think lemon still does, which is something that probably needed to be changed. But you can see it working here. I think we reduced the stats on the brain cramp and it barely survived the snipes from the Blowfish. So level 2 woodpecker, I think. I'm sure it would maybe make more sense to level 2 the ibex, but I just wanted to get the woodpecker combo maximized as quickly as possible, since it is the entire point of the run. Not too much ibex value here, but we do remove a couple of their units. And yeah, the cashew nut, there are definitely some crazy broken teams you can make with it. Thankfully, I haven't seen anyone playing them yet, and I'm deliberately avoiding making them, but I'm sure sooner or later someone is going to have the same idea I had. So I think here I'm greeding just in case I get a transform food so I can convert the lobster into something else. Doesn't look like we're going to get it. Yeah, we're just going to sell out of the lobster now. A little bit of desync. And go for level 2 blowfish. I did play quite a lot of games of this, trying to get level 3s on all 3 of the units at the front, which is it can be difficult to do when you're searching for specific units, but also trying to get them extremely high level. Although in this particular run we got such a good start that we're kind of steamrolling a lot of these teams. The Takin just gains a ridiculous amount of stats. And now we can complete the squad by adding Sunfish at the back of the team. So it will snipe everything. I actually should just play it in front of the ibex. I'm not sure why I'm letting it hit all its teammates for no real reason. Now this is the kind of team that we can potentially struggle against because they have the Eagle Owl, so they can recover stats. However, it's turn 13, so the Eagle Owl hasn't had a massive opportunity to actually get a large number of battles under its belt. But look at this, we get the level 3 woodpecker. The Sunfish isn't going to do anything this turn because it's an even turn. So we can just leave it at the back. It's a fairly big roll team. The woodpecker's actually going to kill the Takin because of the fossa. There were quite a few games like this where exactly the same thing happened, where I faced a roll team and the fossa sabotaged both the Takin and the blowfish. But now we get the ibex equipped with a pita bread, so the sunfish at the back really does make sense. And we face one of these level up teams that I see this quite often, this exact combo with the whale plus Lucky Cat. Quite a clever level up team. But look at the size that the Takin gets up to. Yeah, under normal circumstances, that would have been a crushing defeat to that level up squad, but in the end, the Hurt team pulls through. So let's just take a quick look at another run with the very similar team. I had a mixture of different units in the pack to try and maximize my chances of getting the setup I wanted. So some of them I was taking geometric tortoise instead of blowfish. And then it wasn't always ibex, you know, sometimes I played albatross. I think this might be albatross instead of ibex. I forget exactly which replay this is. So we take the level up and I give up on the golden beetle. Sometimes it could be nice to greed for the 10 attack gold beetle to get extra gold, but in this case, not really worth it because we would have had to invest a bit more into the beetle. And double Caladrius. I have seen a few people playing these kind of Caladrius stack teams. I guess in this case it was Love Potion, which is a pretty rare spot. So yeah, we'll just take whichever food we have. I don't think rice was in this pack or asparagus, so no need to search for specific economy foods. Contemplating the sea cucumber, but I guess we're going to look for something else. Very weak looking summon team here on turn 9. I wonder if this is a free-to-play team, to be honest. Sometimes you just get lucky and face free-to-play opponents in amongst all the nightmarish Pay to win teams. So yeah, we can get rid of lobster and bring in the cow. I think with 4 hearts here, I'm pretty confident that we're in good shape. So that's why I'm not too bothered about abandoning large chunks of the team to try and get things set up. So you can't play double woodpecker with this setup because the Takin will only be triggered by one of the woodpeckers. But we can just play the other woodpecker at the front. And here, this looks like an elk team that doesn't have an elk. Maybe they already sold it. Or it could have just been someone using seaweed since it is pretty strong. But I think we are going to lose here. Oh no, we're just going to scrape the win. A lot of people playing the fly with blobfish reset at the moment, which is nice to see. And then I think I'm going to use the alpaca with the ibex. So maybe this is an ibex game. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I think at this point I'm just playing for variety. So I turned down the ibex. And this is great here because we actually remove the manticore before the tasty gets activated. It is still very close. Only the alpaca left alive. And now I'm just looking for something else to complete the squad. I don't want the flounder here. Yeah, I don't think we had enough in the shop there. I don't think we had the correct food in the shop there to activate the flounder anyway. Yeah, we'll take the level up now, and there we go. We get the albatross. So albatross in front of the blowfish is going to add a nice damage boost. Yeah, here we go. I think it's maybe the same person. There's a lot of people playing these Cerberus and Fly reset teams after various videos have appeared of this. But I think we're going to be alright here because the snipes mean that the pygmy hippo doesn't get that many attacks. And yeah, the woodpecker survives. Here we also get the cashew nut, although I can't remember if I take it. Yeah, that's the other way you can go with this. You can put the cashew on the woodpecker so that it also hits the blowfish in the before battle phase. So if you get very lucky, you could just snipe something, snipe a start of battle unit before it even gets to activate. In this case, of course, we snipe the least important pet on their side, but it's not going to matter, I don't think. Yeah, the whole squad basically gets eliminated by the volume of snipes. So we've got one extra clip here. This one doesn't really demonstrate the combo at all, but it was just one of those games where I got this ridiculous alpaca high roll. And then we get matched with Wombat. I think this is Wombat going for a full team of achievements using only pets he doesn't have the achievement for. And because of that, we end up winning and we get the Takin achievement, when really I would have liked that game to go a bit longer.